Vegas has outperformed much larger cities. The true success indicator has been from the fans.
Well, it's boys' night out. And don't you know we're gonna scream it?
Hello and welcome to the club. I'm your host Mars, and this is the Upper 90 Club, a roundtable podcast where five friends discuss the Columbus Crew. On this episode, we review last weekend's VIVE Instant Classic against DC. We look ahead to Saturday's match against Toronto FC, and finally, we'll review VIVE predictions and cast our Crew Years predictions. Does this game have a name?
Keep it going.
Catch on.
Yeah, just keep moving along. All right. If you haven't already, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, at Upper 90 Club Pod, and now YouTube Season 2 at is this right? at Upper 90 Club.
Yeah,
Is there,
I think
is there an extra app?
youtube.com/at
No.
upper90club.com.
No. Just look around. Some folks have found us. So we
Search
have
Upper
our
90 Club.
some clips from last week up there. And I think the full episode is up there. So check us out there in some form or fashion, Upper 90 Club. And you can email questions, comments, and general complaints to podcast@upper90club.com. With me in the club is Ben, Mort, Trey, and Haas. Say, VIVEsmas?
VIVEsmas.
Yeah, that's right. No. Okay, yeah. Say, player of the match day.
Say happy Christmas like Lucas Zelarayan. It's Christmas. Happy Christmas.
So we won. Yeah, congratulations to everyone.
Vive la Crevolution. What was it?
I didn't hear that.
CREWVOLUTION?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the TIFO.
It's clear that there are like too many dads involved in all of these namings. You know, it's just all like really pun heavy, groan worthy. Anyway, so
Like right up our alley.
right. Well, yeah. And
Yep.
so I was gonna say that, of course, I was watching from home, out of town. Ben, I'm sure with your new dad status, you were probably not at the game. How did you watch it?
Yeah, my nude dad status. I wasn't allowed at the game. So I'm not kidding. The entire game I was
You're proving
Like
the point. Like
4
that was
feet
a
away
dad
from
joke.
it. Yeah. The fire was on. It was roasting them nuts and just watching the game. No, I was literally like 5 feet away from the screen just watching the game.
Yeah. All right. Mort, were you there?
Oh yeah, brought Finn. Got there early. Checked out the tailgate. Oh, I loved it.
It was your birthday, right?
Yeah, it was my birthday. And it can't be
Happy
much better.
birthday.
Oh, yeah, please,
to-
please.
Come on,
Yeah,
everybody in your cars. Happy birthday. Everybody at work. Come on, Dad. Happy birthday.
Trey? Not a prompt to sing. What how did you watch the game?
Live at the game at the stadium with the family, and yeah, what an atmosphere! Fantastic game, and TIFO and Nordec and VIVEsmas and everything. It was great.
Yeah. You too, Haas, right?
Correct. Hanging with Tracy in our normal spot.
You guys weren't in the new
From our perch. No.
premiere section?
No, sir.
Nope.
All right.
But
Okay,
we
well,
did
let's-
get some behind the scenes that we weren't able to publish of what it actually looks like from an inside source. Winky, 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 winky.
From the night before.
And it looks cool.
Mm.
I mean, I want to watch it from up there. I mean, we did watch it from up there, and that's why I wanted to watch it from up there. But all the stuff they did does look kind of cool. What do you guys think? How much is it to rent it out? Does anybody know?
That's the big question.
I haven't looked any of that up.
I haven't looked either. I think it looks really cool. I mean, I just can't see it being worth that much more than what we already do. I mean, if you rent it out and you get the actual benefits of free food, and
Celery
beer, and that
sticks.
kind of stuff, yeah, celery, blue cheese, carrots, it could totally be worth it. But I mean, the view is phenomenal up there.
Maybe we can have our first live pod up there. Set it up.
Why didn't we celebrate
cool.
Mort's birthday up there?
Right?
Should have done that. Get a birthday discount.
Probably because we didn't know it was his birthday until like the day before when he told us. Kind of like when Haas was like, "Oh, I'm getting married that day," and we're like, "What?
Oh,
what
yeah.
do you mean
Yeah,
you're
that
getting married
happened.
on Thursday?"
So hey, when you're a couple of years older than you are, you try to kind of let it pass in silence.
Yeah, you
That's-
don't look a day older than 29.
Thank you.
Not freshly shaven like that. Nope.
So yeah, so what was? I mean, you said good atmosphere. Any other major changes from last season? You know, what do you have to report from?
I think
from the
I
stadium?
think the biggest thing was I stopped by the Black Flag tailgate on the north lot there.
Yeah.
Great atmosphere. Realized they've been there a little longer than me, so I kind of felt a little bit unprepared to be there when I got there with my 8-year-old. So we proceeded to go in and do a little kick around.
Yeah.
I think the big thing was for people to get there early. I think the warnings about all the stuff going on, Arnold Classic, and what was the concert, like some big concert going
Carrie
on?
Underwood.
Karen Underwood. Is that what it is?
Karen Underwear.
Karen Underwood.
Carrie Underwood.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that when the walkout happened, Weissman say, and the kickoff, pretty much all the butts were in the seats. So it was like pretty much a full house at
It
kickoff, which
looked
was great.
Awesome.
And
I
I
only
love the
saw-
yellow smoke. Oh, that was
Yeah.
good too.
I only saw some video footage of it, but if I make it out to the tailgate one of these times, it seems like people shift over for when the team arrives on the bus and they do the big like arrival into the stadium.
Yep.
Saw some cool videos of that on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's
And
pretty
the team
awesome.
walk in has like the drums and people chanting and all that stuff. It was cool.
Yeah, and we knew that there was going to be like the smoke. I think the was it the
I didn't
Nordic,
didn't realize it not until it like we're standing there and it came rolling. It was great. It was great seeing that black
there were
smoke.
so many pictures of like the amount of smoke. Is that too soon?
Yes.
Too soon.
Okay. Anywho,
Always.
And I
that
think
one.
they say Steen.
Steen.
He didn't even say it right.
How is that?
I mean, that's how most people say it, I think. But
In Ohio. Yeah, but they showed it because like Ty said it like in the presser, like in the Nordic thing, like he was like, "Hey, it's going to be insane. Like if you have any like allergies or any asthma, like you should steer clear of the Nordica. Like at the beginning of each game, like we're going to make it a big deal." Which is funny because that's what we were talking about with the premium seating. Like if they light it off, it's going to go like pretty much straight up. And that's exactly what it did. If you look at the pictures, it's like everybody paid like a bunch of money and they missed the first like 10 minutes of the game because they were just like, can't see anything.
smoke screen.
Oh.
So, so let's get into the lineups. Haas, do you want to go through how we set up? We can talk about anything that stood out there.
Yeah, so not quite the same lineup as the first game. Room started
Right.
because he's back. He got his green card. That situation was resolved. I think it just took longer than they wanted. Then Moreira, Deganek, Quinton are the center backs.
Our only center backs.
Farsi, Nagby, Morris, and the change was Yao Yaboa came in and started instead of Diaz.
Mm-hmm.
And
Instead of
then,
Sands, I believe.
oh, you're right.
That's right.
Instead of Sands.
Yep.
Matan and Zelarayan behind Kucho
Mhm.
up top. And Yaboa was fine. He had some moments, some issues.
Yeah,
But-
I was a little surprised about the Yeboah inclusion. I think that's much more of a sense. But maybe you get a little more offensively with Yeboah. Probably that was the idea.
Yeah, but Sands wasn't even on the bench. Like he's hurt. He got hurt
Oh,
the
okay.
last game. That's why he got pulled after 45, from what I understand, is that he had some type of knock. I thought it was his knee or something like that. But yeah, he didn't even make the bench.
Okay, then it makes sense.
Yeah, that's definitely and I think Yeboah actually played all right. On second viewing, he definitely played a lot better than what I remember. And it
Agreed.
seems like he is
Yeah.
playing more conservative. Like he got into the attack some, but he definitely has a mind for, if I'm going to make this team, I've got to play defense. Like I can't just like be on an island like I'm a winger. Like I have to come back and help. Which I
will
which I
also
saw
say
a lot.
that being on the left side, he played against Najar, I think his name is, on the
Oh.
right back, and I thought he was really good. I didn't see it on the rating here, but my buddy and I, Jesse, sitting next to me, we're talking about that number 14 guy. He was dominant.
Yeah,
in
so
the
I
first
ended
half
up
specifically.
I ended up texting texting the DC guy we talked to, James, and I was like, "Can I please have Nahar? That guy is
Nahar, okay.
awesome. Yeah, he's a Honduran, which is weird,
Yep.
but that he was in my opinion, he was their best player of the night. I know his ratings don't have it, but man, that guy was everywhere
Yeah.
for a right back.
So I think that was kind of what hurt Yeboah's performance a little bit. It was he came up against him who was having a great game.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I actually think that our center backs had to have an amazing game for a shutout against, I thought, Benteke and his hold-up play. That guy is a monster. That he is going to have a great season. There is no doubt in my mind he is going to have double-digit goals. And pretty much because that's all they did was kind of kick it in the box and hope he heads it in. But
yeah, and I would say one thing. When you see Benteke next to Degenek, that guy's a big dude when you
He's
see in a
a
real person,
monster.
like
Yeah.
in real life. He is very, very big. Speaking of big, I thought Quentin did big or great, I should say.
Yeah.
But I think it has something to do. By the way, the nickname for him is Big Bird. We decided that during the game.
who is
But-
we?
Oh, I have people at the game.
Is it Snuffy?
No, it's Big Bird.
Okay.
I kind of like Big Bird.
Yeah.
I could see it.
So, but I have to say, I wonder how much of the factor of the performance of the back line is the fact that you have room back there with experience and leading him as well. It does matter to have a goalie that knows what they're doing out there.
Yeah,
It's-
I was going to
Yeah.
ask you guys if you thought that it would have been a shutout if Room hadn't made it back.
He had some decent saves. Is he vocal back there? I don't see him being that vocal. Am I missing something?
I don't
Podcast at
think he's-
upper90club.com if you know what's going on. I know some of you guys in the Nordeca
Any
hear
of the
what he
center
says.
backs- Maybe the center backs, just let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's not like a Tim Howard. He's not screaming at people, but I think he is vocal.
Okay.
So, yeah, just the coordination. Milos played fantastic.
And he's vocal.
Yeah, and honestly, I thought Morera was silently really good. It was kind of one of those I didn't even really notice that he was on the field. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, wow, yeah, he's been there the whole game, like doing everything he needs to. So,
Yeah, the back. So, and I want to bring this up because I saw this the first game and it was extremely evident this game. I know Nancy is giving them free reign to bring the ball up the field, and they weren't even pressing that much, which was awesome. So we had time on the ball. We, especially Morera, we would lose the ball like in our, you divide up the field in our final third, which I just feel like should never happen. Quentin did, Milos didn't, but I know Quentin and Morera lost. Like they're allowing them to move up the field, and then they're trying to play those balls down the channel or balls into the strikers, and they're hitting it 110,000 miles an hour, like a foot off the ground. Like that's not what you want to do. You want to play it on the ground. I watched it again today, the second half, and maybe it's just tired legs and maybe they're just getting used to it because I know they weren't used to doing this, but that is absolutely our game plan, is to let them bring the ball up and kind of bring it into the midfield. And it just seems like that they're not quite there yet. And it would be better. And I hate to say this because I always talk to Trey about how much I hate this. It's like dropping Nagby or Morris, like our 6 or our 8, in to get the ball and bring and progress the ball. But obviously that's not what Nancy wants to do, which is fine because it allows them to be, higher up the field. But if you watch, like there's a couple times where they get the ball in our final third and they're it's just by happenstance they don't
Yeah, Quentin had an ugly
oh
one.
boy, yeah,
But-
and
but
I know
to-
exactly what you're talking about.
And to your point, one big difference I saw that I did like was the ability to switch. There's a couple of times where we switched the field with a long ball to hit our wingers.
And who
We
does
actually
that?
Used to win. Yeah, we haven't done that in how many years?
And it's yeah, but and that's what you should do, especially in this system. But do you know the player that constantly does that?
Zelarayan.
No, Aiden
Dang it.
Morris.
Morris.
Aiden Morris. gets
Zelarayan
the
did it at
ball.
one point
Yeah.
to Farsi in this game, but
And that was awesome. I know exactly what you're talking about there too.
So are you? I mean, I just want to make sure we're clear, especially for ourselves, as long as anybody that could be listening or watching. Comparatively, like previous seasons, the center of the defense has been dropping a little bit deeper and allowing that center midfielder to drop deep in front of them, collect the ball, and distribute it out. Instead, what we were seeing is those two center defenders, or the center defender and whichever side the ball is on, pushing forward up into the midfield to then distribute the ball going forward to be more aggressive. Correct?
Correct.
Okay.
right. And while Farsi, whoever the wing back is, whatever side they're on, that person is moving even further forward.
Mhm.
Right.
We saw it in the first game. It's a risk-reward thing.
It
And
absolutely
the benefit we had was that DC is not set up the way that the Union is to put that extreme pressure on. What Union did in second half was to put the pressure on, and we lost the ball over and over and over again in those transitions.
Mm-hmm.
And this time we did it a couple times. And first of all, they're not as dangerous coming that way. And the second of all, they didn't break us that many times, and we get more of that through. So it's a risk reward thing, because if you cut through, suddenly you
Yeah.
have one more person higher in the field.
Yeah, and I agree. And like the thing is with Yeboah, and even when Diaz came on, there was one where DePietra, the guy on the other team, almost had a breakaway, and he was able to like catch up to him with his speed. And Farsi also, they have been doing amazing, even in the first game, of coming back and covering when we have an oh crap moment. You know what I mean? So like we're allowing our center backs to do that, and if they make a mistake, our recovery is the best I've ever seen, almost the best I've ever seen of any team.
I thought Farsi looked really good. He stood out to me. I don't know if he was just covering a lot of ground, or maybe the telecast had him on screen more or something. But
He does cover a lot
he was-
of ground.
he was
I'm
hustling
very
out
impressed by
there.
that. And I think some of he's not very clean,
No, that's what I was
but
going to say.
but he's very involved, and he works really hard. I have to bring back this comparison a little bit again to kind of a Van Bissaka for United. He's kind of he covers a lot of ground, full of energy, puts his body out there and putting a lot of work, but it's not always very clean, but it could be very efficient.
yeah,
So, but we haven't really talked about the stars of the night, right?
yeah. 9 and 10. I think we're gonna talk about the goals, and we'll also kind of talk through the subs here after a break. But what about those guys and their gameplay? What'd you think?
I felt like they were on it. I mean, that's the biggest thing we want to see, especially out of those two. Cucho and Zelarayan is, when they're on, and they're clicking together. They are probably one of the most difficult two players to guard on one team in the league. If not as they're right up there, top 5.
They were
duos in the
creating
league for sure.
so much danger, right? And goals aside, they looked so aggressive up top. Both of them, you saw all kinds of
Yeah.
looks.
Well, it seems
Yeah.
like they have free reign to go left and right. So you
Yeah.
see Cucho popping up and Zelarayan popping up all over the place, and then you even have Matan popping up. I think it's very weird, because I think Matan and Lucas Zelarayan are both like number 10s. They both kind of want to get the ball and distribute, and they just move all around. So as a defense, you can't properly track them. Like their whole goal, they're up there just buzzing around, going nuts. And then you have, Cucho, who isn't, they were saying in the preview that he's tasked with being kind of almost a proper 9, but he's definitely not. Like, he's also dropping in and just like creating havoc. So it's hard for a defense to be like, oh, cool, I got this guy. And it's just like, if it's constantly moving and they're constantly trying to just get into space, all 3 of them, it's just super fun to watch because they always seem to find space or they'll overload one side. Like Lucas, Zelleran, and Cucho will be on the left side against one guy, and it's like they're just screwed. And I tell you what, when we go to counter anytime, everybody is bombing forward. They kept showing replays like every time we won the ball at midfield or anywhere near their final third, literally everybody is on like a sprint towards the goal. And it is, I just picture being a defender, like 6 people running, like you can't track those people. It was just, I don't know. To me, it was bonkers watching.
Well, and I know we're only 2 games in, but I still feel like the biggest surprise of the season so far is Matan's inclusion and his play.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
It's been enjoyable watching him connect with Cucho and Zelleran. I mean, that through ball he played, they're just trying to split the back line with those passes, playing them through. A lot of fun to watch.
A couple
Yeah,
give
and
and goes.
Yeah, well, and a couple of times, especially if they're playing give and goes together, like because they're about the same size, it like literally watching them, I'm like, oh no, that was actually Matan playing that ball,
Right.
Which is cool to see. It's nice to see that third player that's up in the attack doing offensive things.
For you guys that were watching, did you hear the announcers talk about? I think they were mentioning, was it Higuain? That I got a question about Matan when he was in Miami, I believe, and he said something about, correct me if that was who said it, but he said if he can put together what he does at practice in games, he's going to be a real impact player in MLS.
It was Bradley Wright Phillips.
Bradley
Phillips.
Phillips.
Oh, that's right.
That's
Okay.
what it was. I knew it was one of the old guys.
Though, but that quote was more of them just talking about BWP for like 5 minutes. Yeah. It was just like, he was so great, or he was so great. Also, he said this thing, but then he was like, but he also played for the Crew. So I just was like,
it was on the highlights. That's why I caught it.
Yeah,
that's interesting because I just wonder when Ramirez gets back, what it's going to look like. Like if he's going to still start, and I also wonder.
It's good to have options.
Yeah, I mean, I still want to see Russell Rowe up there with those two. The pirate.
So I think generally we're feeling pretty positive. There was some mistakes made, but I think generally everyone played pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Nancy's biggest complaint is the possession.
Yeah.
From what I read, he wishes we would have possessed more. Been able to, and he felt like we were overcommitting at times on the attack, like going too quick, not slowing it down and figuring out how to break down the defense. It's just like a quick counter. That's what I read from the dispatch, at least.
It felt that way in the second half.
Yeah.
Like we kind of, it was a little bit panicky. I know when I watched it the first time, I was really nervous. I was like, they're going to get one back.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be like, oh, what are we going to do? And of course I look on the bench. I'm like, I would normally, what I would like to have seen is like bring on another center back, but Josh Williams wasn't on the bench again. And I'm not sure exactly what's going on there, but we don't have another center back option. So literally if that's it. Those 3 guys are it. So, it was just kind of like hold on to your butts. But
yeah.
watching
I
it
really
again, it was we played a lot more possession. It wasn't as bad the second time. Go ahead, Trey.
No, yeah. Early in the season, I think it's going to be a feast or famine. When we're scoring goals, when we're playing well, I think we're going to look really good. When we're not, we're going to look like that Philly game. So I think it's going to be weather the storm for a few months and figure the system out. And I saw more of it this game. Aiden looked better in the middle. Nagby looked good in the middle, holding possession. But yeah, we were quick to push it forward, deep. So I mean, positive, negative. That they looked good doing it. So
it's fun.
It's good.
Yeah.
I love it. I love. Yeah. I mean, there was some. I think it was. I mean, the end of the first half was almost nonstop. So yeah, a lot of positive. I've got nothing negative to say about it. It's good to see the team playing well and clicking and moving forward as they learn the system versus, they could be losing every game trying to quote unquote learn the system. So,
Okay. All right. Well, let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll go through the goals, the subs, and kind of what we learned coming out of it. So we'll be right back. And we're back. Ben had these mugs made for everyone because we were making too much noise with our glass.
Well,
you
I
have
didn't
yours
make
too?
them.
Oh, Trey has his. Who else? See, yeah.
Yep.
You didn't make this? I thought that you made
thanks,
this.
Mort.
Well, so I
Mine
got
says,
them.
if you're on video, mine says Mars, and it has the sweet S.
Yeah, you always got to use the sweet S. If not, you're an absolute moron.
And it
So-
Mine
up
says racy.
U90C. Yeah.
Racy. Because he's
Racy.
a racy boy. Mine says Bean 96, but it's, and then I tried to do Argyle on the inside. No, I got these. I found them at the Renaissance Festival because I'm a huge advocate for the Renaissance Festival.
And they happen to have all of our names like etched in.
No,
usually
I
you see
have-
a lot of like Amandas and Karens.
It's like the
Etched
license
by,
plates.
like a child.
Yeah, I was going through it and I was like, wow, Mars with a sweet S. And she's like, I don't know. It's really big in Idaho. And I'm like, I'll buy it. No, I've got a burner guy that I like etched it in.
So there was a separate. So you ordered the.
Oh, they're
mugs.
blank.
They were blank, and then you have a third party wood burner who did the customization.
That was me.
No, wait.
I did
He
that.
is the third party.
Oh, you did it.
Yeah, I did it.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
Obviously, I did it. Like, if you can see them, it's like obviously.
You
pretty
If I
sure
paid
his
someone,
daughter-
if I paid
Yeah.
someone for that and they handed it back to me, I'd be like, "Give me my
I was-
money back."
I was, yeah. I wouldn't have said that, but that's great. Thank you, Ben.
Yeah,
So
leather mugs.
yeah, you have an announcement, right? That's
Yeah.
not mug related.
Yeah. So I purchased the Nordic subscription. So I wanted to show you guys what we got. I know Haas also got it. I don't know if the rest of you guys got it in the mail, but so first things first, they got us these, which are like, they look like little tiny mouse pads for little tiny mice. Yep, Haas got it too. But their coasters are way better than our coasters. Then I got a membership. Oh, let's see here. I got this little guy, which will come off probably in a car wash in about 6 months.
4 or 5 inch magnet.
Yep.
It's a good size.
It's a huge. Yeah, look at the size of my head.
Hmm.
Huge. Great. And then before I get to the main thing, they did give me a really sweet letter with ways to reach them, and then my Nordic membership card, which is the same one that I had last year. But the big thing this year, instead of the mug, was, and this is pretty cool, fanny pack. So I'm a huge
Wow.
fanny pack guy. But the best part about this fanny pack is they made it specifically the size that gets you into the stadium. So you can, if you have this, it is the legal size that will allow you to go in the stadium. So it's not a purse that you have to go back to the car. If you
Right.
have this, it's the biggest size you can have to go in the stadium.
And is
You
the
know.
waist is the waist the right size as well?
I don't know.
I haven't tried mine on.
I'm really nervous to try it on. Yeah, I just opened it today.
You can just throw it over the shoulder.
Yeah,
That's what
worst
the
case
cool
scenario.
kids do
Yeah,
anyway.
or it's a necklace. It's a mask.
necklace.
It doubles as an N95.
Yeah,
That's how
Just
big
by-
your
it
head
stands
is.
for ninja.
Just speaking of Fanny, by coincidence, I had a new person in my team today.
Where is this
Who's
going?
in Hungary, and her name is Fanny.
Really?
Hey, Fanny.
Fanny Mae.
So shout out to Fanny.
Wow.
Welcome to the team.
Fanny from Hungary.
Welcome
to the
she's
club.
A member of the club. That's great.
She should be.
All right, let's talk about the goals. They were great.
Yep.
Discuss.
Also, have the breakdown.
We just rewatched
Yeah,
them.
Haas.
Yeah, they were great.
So, I mean, the 10th minute, I don't have quite a good description of this one, of the build up to it, but in the end, Cucho takes the ball to the end line, drops it back to Zelarayan, who does a quick, 180?
Yeah. No,
He just
Pirouette
turns
kind
him.
of
It was
thing, yeah.
nasty.
That turn is-
Turns him.
Yeah.
He kind of bodies him a little bit as he's receiving the ball, turns him, shoots low right side. The keeper goes the right way, but just can't
It was
get to
past
it.
him. Yeah.
Mhm. Oh man, he turned him. I love that, just like bringing it across his body, and then just placing it far corner. And it was
Did he touch
he
it?
turned
Did he
Canal.
touch it when he
Yeah.
turned, or did he just?
Yeah.
Use...
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a one moment. He takes it almost 70 degrees or something like that. I mean, like he drags it around with his left foot, and then he turns his body after and just finishes it first time.
Yeah.
It's a beauty.
And I
It's
mean,
really
10th
nice.
minute, what a fun time
Yeah.
for the fans for it to score, just to like light the stadium up.
Smoke is
So-
still
so-
there, so thick.
So I know that Zelarayan was player of the match day too, but that was also goal of the match day too
Oh,
as well.
so yeah. So
there you
quick
go.
sidebar: we learned we didn't know this because our performance wasn't quite as match day in week 1, but yes, Zelarayan earned the honors of what was it? Player of the match day.
Player of the
Player of the
match
match day.
day.
It's really, really flow. Really
Just
so nice.
rolls off the tongue. Yes.
It's like
Yes.
something from I Think You Should Leave. Like, yeah. Player of the match day.
Yeah. So
Today.
Yeah, it sounds like someone forgot they were talking. And and so what I just heard you say, which I did not know, is that was the goal of the match day.
Yeah.
Did it win it? I know it was nominated as one of the ones. I didn't see who actually pulled away with the
I
win.
saw another notification today that was the goal of the match day. I can
was?
confirm.
Because
I'll
that
confirm.
Miami,
That Miami,
goal
the
was
second Miami goal was
Okay.
pretty.
good.
Maybe it was
pretty-
just a nominee, but it was it was Cruz goal of the match day
Do we know?
too.
Do we know what other awards of the match day there are? Are there matches of
Young
the match
player-
day?
young players of the match day.
which Aiden Morris
So they
got.
named 5 young players.
They gave it to
Aiden
Oh,
Morris was one.
five
Five.
different people.
Okay.
They're just handing out participation trophies at
Yes.
Apple. They're like,
Yeah.
you get a match day, and you get a match day. It's a ribbon.
I guess the votes are still open to vote. so
Yeah,
go
but
vote.
yeah, votes are still
Well,
open.
by the time we have this out, it's already
Okay.
voted for.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay.
It'd be tough to beat that second Miami goal. That was a good goal.
Well, what about our second goal?
So yeah, the second one was the 44th minute. And this we talked about that big switching the field. That was Zelarayan switching the field to Farsi. Farsi loses the ball. He wins it back. In the end, let's see here. Sorry. Moreira kind of settles it after winning the ball back. It kind of bounces around a little. He chips it around the defender towards the box while Farsi is making a run on the right side of him. Oh my God, I might need to start this over.
Don't just keep powering
just
through,
keep
man.
going. Yeah.
Just
A lot
say,
of
man.
soccer happened. Tell us.
Moreira chips the ball around the defender to Matan. Matan is cutting
on.
towards the middle.
No, I'm realizing now that this has gone on way too long. Hold on. Are you
What
starting
happened?
over, or are you picking up where you fumbled?
Picking up where I fumbled. You told me not to start over.
We were wrong.
Is there a way you could start over and do it faster? Like, maybe I'm okay. All right, go for it, man. Just let it rip.
Okay, so we win the ball back. Moreira wins the ball back after we lose it in the front half of the field. He chips it around the defender to Matan, who's cutting towards the box with Farsi running on his right side. And Zelarayan slips through the back line. Matan plays a beautiful pass through to him, and it's his first touch. Zelarayan kind of like waits for it. First touch off of his right foot, top netting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roofs it.
But
Savage goal.
that Farsi run pulls one defender, if not like kind of pulls a second one for a second, and just like opens up that space for the Matan pass to be slipped through.
So important. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Matan, a little bit of an outside of the foot flick.
Oh, it was
just to push it
class.
through. It was perfect.
Mhm.
There was a couple of, like, we were talking earlier about, like, after the second goal, there was a bunch of these like absolute cocky class, just like give and goes and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're playing with a lot
Immediately
of
after
confidence.
is the Cucho diving header.
Yeah, which I
Oh.
was
Oh,
100%
yeah.
was in. Yeah, a good save. It was a good save.
Farsi to the line, and when that cut back, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you guys were there, you guys said that you thought it was offside. Is that true in the stadium? Did the stadium think it was offside? That being said, so Apple absolutely dwarfs the crowd, like the crowd noise. Like you can tell the compression hits. Like the announcers will talk and the crowd will get louder, and as soon as they stop talking, it goes way back down. So I'm assuming it sounded like it was so loud in the stadium that they were just squashing it. Anyways, I digress. So I know that was an issue with week one. They were saying like, wow, the crowd seems like it was dead from a bunch of other stadiums, but like it sounded
Like-
here like they were dead, but there was no way.
I can tell you it was very loud,
Yeah.
and I can tell you that because I don't even know what song won the goal scoring.
I was
Song.
gonna
Could
ask
hear
that. I was gonna be like, so
Didn't
how
hear
was
it.
Pepas?
Could've- yeah,
I'm pretty
could've
sure that
been.
won, right? The Pepas. I think
Don't
Tracy.
know.
I
weren't you
thought I heard
following
them
the-
still. I thought I still heard them playing the trumpets, but
Morty trumpets.
yeah,
That was at the beginning of the game.
Yeah,
I
think
thought it was after the
trumpet-
goal too, though.
Yeah, it might have been a trumpet list, kind of the song that kind of sounds a little bit like it. That might have been it. I
Which would be
think.
Peppus, but
But I couldn't make it out clearly. But speaking of the crowd was great. It was loud.
Yeah.
Everybody was in it. I loved a couple instances where you see kind of that far side opposite of Nordicke, when that whole side stood up with nobody else standing up, and they were kind of like excited about something on that side. That side of the field doesn't really get that engaged. You know, usually it's kind of a movement that people start standing up or everybody stand up, but everybody
Yeah.
on that side got really into it, and that's great to see. People are getting more and more involved in the game.
Yeah, you could see it on the telecast, and the announcers definitely kept saying how great it was. I'm assuming they're probably not there. Am I wrong?
I think they were.
I think they actually were-
talked about
That actually
being excited to come back in 2 weeks.
okay. That makes sense. Because every time they were talking or they got like excited about something, like I could hear the crowd noise get louder. That's why I knew that they had dwarfed the sound in the stadium, which is a bummer. But I don't know. The announcers were good.
they'll figure it out.
Yeah, I thought the commentation was good.
hmm
So we're gonna have to wait to see the new black jersey on the field. But Ben, I want you to show off yours because it's
Stand
sweet.
up and turn
Yeah.
around.
The problem is I'm not wearing pants. I'm just kidding. Totally. Wearing
Okay,
pants.
so Ben
Or am I?
got his jersey, and I just want to show off the top because it's sweet, or the back rather, the back.
Can you see it?
No, quit!
It
Hey, don't
says-
pinch your
It
don't
It says upper 90.
don't
Don't-
pinch your back. Don't pinch your back.
Don't put. I
You
got
took
a
a pee
cramp.
away.
Yeah.
You want me to do it again?
Haas was showing off
Yes.
too. I was
Uper
watching it.
90.
You like to Uper.
Yeah, I got the mellow yellow.
You
Oz
can
got the
pronounce it.
mellow
Uber.
yellow.
Did you get
Uber.
the upper 90 on the back?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, did you show it off? I missed it.
I missed it.
Yeah,
did.
was
He
getting
did.
upper
Ben was turned
90.
around.
Okay.
See,
yeah.
he also
Yeah,
isn't
like
looking
that.
great when he turns around.
an awkward height.
It's so, yeah, it was the height. That was my issue too. Was how high it was off the ground. It wasn't the fact that everything was cramping.
All right. So
But I
that
do
looks
want to
good.
say
Well,
we
yeah.
are going to be giving away a jersey here in a couple weeks. We're still trying to work it all out, but we will be outside the stadium telling everybody how to win that jersey, and it'll probably be an authentic black jersey. So
It'll be
get
a
pumped.
jersey of the match day. All right. So, any other final thoughts on the game? I mean, it's kind of slow second half. We
Yeah.
can talk subs if you want.
Yeah, I was actually going to talk subs. Before that, I want to say every time they showed Nancy, he was giving thumbs up and giving positive encouragement, which I thought was awesome. You guys were there. There was one time where when Molino got first subbed in, he got fouled and Matan, and it shot over to him, and he was giving thumbs up, like, good job, well done, way to stay, like, way to slow it down, whatever. And there was a time, and I want everybody listening to find this, because I texted everybody, but no one. I texted the entire game, and no one listens to what I have to say. But on the 75th minute, Diaz gets in.
Ever.
And it's Diaz comes in, and it's his first touch, and he goes down the right side. And I don't know if it was a cross or a shot or if he sneezed, but it went like third row all the way up. And it cuts over to Nazi, and
he's smiling.
He is laughing and like smiling. He's like, Luis, 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 like just like clapping.
I saw that rewatch.
Oh man, it's so funny. It's funny that he's able to recognize like what we always like poke fun at him. Like Diaz is a great player, and he's a speed merchant, which means that's his main thing is speed. But he did do really well when he came in. He did play really good defense, but that specific moment is hilarious. And it's so funny that the coach can laugh it off in mid game and still give him like a thumbs up and clap and be like, whatever. It was awesome. But I wanted to talk about the subs.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, Jesse was sitting next to me and he said, what do you guys say again? If he was only good at soccer?
Yeah,
he was only good at soccer.
If he was only good at soccer.
If only.
He embarrasses the left fullback later on, like 5 minutes later. Absolutely.
And we say that in jest. Like, we really do like the guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, he just has flashes of brilliance that show us what he can do. And then he does what he did when he comes in the game.
Kind of
He's a
reminds
Monty
me
Python
like
character.
when Gino Padula was the left back. Great hustle. But that dude would always like just let it rip. Like anytime he had the ball past the halfway line, he would just try to shoot. And so we would always yell like, "Don't shoot, Padula!" Like that was like one of our chants, in 2008 or whatever it was.
And
But
Diaz is still only 24 years old.
so we can keep so we're gonna
Yep.
keep talking about it.
Which I think is a shame he didn't go to the World Cup, considering he was probably, I still think, one of the Costa Rica's better players during the lead up to the World Cup. But I digress.
Yeah.
Lucas came out pretty late, right? That was just kind of a resting sub. There was one more, wasn't there?
Kevin
Diaz
Molino
came on in the 75th for
Molino.
Yeboah, so left wing back. I think he actually switches to the right.
He does.
And
Yeah.
Farsi switches to the left when that
Correct.
happens. Then Molino came on in the 81st. That was for Matan. And then Zawadzki comes on in the 90th for Zelarayan.
Okay.
So this is weird, but I think it's very interesting that he did this and not a myriad of other things he could have done. So he brought in. So Aiden Morris was on a yellow pretty early, and Aiden Morris doesn't back down or go, "Oh yeah, I'm on a yellow. I should like maybe chill out and not go attack somebody." Zawadzki is an awesome like for him late in the game, and I thought it was so bizarre that he kept Aiden on but brought him in for somebody else. It was so bizarre, because if we lost Aiden, that would be a nightmare.
They called it a yellow on Aiden, the announcers did during the game, but it wasn't to Aiden. That yellow was actually to Yeboah.
Okay. That makes
They miscalled
way
it.
more sense, because I was super.
But Aiden
okay,
totally could
okay,
have gotten
okay.
a yellow. He had a pretty big foul late in the
He
game,
raked
close to midfield.
somebody's the back of their leg. The reffing was another
Yeah,
suspect
yeah.
on both sides. Like,
It was like calling. I don't know. He like wouldn't call some things that seemed obvious. I guess I don't know.
I thought he did it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just biased, but I thought he did a decent job of controlling the game. Like, nothing got out of control. Nothing was too much. He called a little bit this way, a little bit that way. Benteke flopping all over, whatever.
Him and
what
Deganek were going at it
Yeah.
too.
Right. And what did we see in the first game against Philadelphia? The yellow card on Cucho for diving in the box. This time, it was the
Farsi.
Birnbaum. No, Birnbaum. Cucho beats him,
No, Yao Yabo.
blocks it. No, it was Cucho. It was Cucho at the top of the box in the first half.
Oh, okay.
He beat him, went to go around him, he blocked him. He flopped, but instead of doing the wrong thing and carting him, he just goes, "Yeah, come on, get up.
Yeah, sure.
Come on, I'm not calling it. Get up." And like that's the difference. Like he controlled the game very well. Not Yeah, I mean
Agreed.
I thought he did a good job.
Yeah, I mean, it was fair both ways. Like there was issues. I think there was one time where it was clearly off a DC player for a corner kick or something, or vice versa. I think it was like clearly off one of our guys, and it should have been a corner kick for them. And then literally 30 seconds later, there was like the exact same thing in the opposite, and that was whatever. But yeah, yeah, go ahead, Mort.
No, I said we're splitting here.
Yeah.
So I don't think referee was a factor in this game whatsoever.
Nope.
And that's
Oh,
nice.
no.
I didn't even think,
Yeah.
away.
I didn't even
Yeah.
think about the
I
ref.
enjoyed
and
it.
That's a good game.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Yeah, that's true.
So it was good game. Got us back halfway back up the table. And
Stop the vote. Stop the vote.
we've got Toronto coming up this Saturday. So let's take another really quick break, and when we come back, we'll jump into this weekend's game. And we're back. During the break, Ben reminded us that we forgot to talk about Pedro on DC now. What do you guys think?
Well, a big shout out to the stadium announcers to make a deal out of it before the kickoff. So he was called out and got the applause and kind of got that attention before we even got the game started.
Oh,
So
sweet.
that was kind of cool. Yeah.
They did not show. So on the broadcast, they were walking out and they're like, "We'll be right back," and then they literally came back like right at kickoff. So we saw like nothing.
I'm pretty sure when he was taking a corner, the southwest corner of the stadium, that the fans were cheering for him as he took the corner.
Good.
Yeah.
You could tell that on the broadcast that they
Good
were
guy.
like, cheering. Yeah, I mean, I tweeted this out like during the game, like so we had Sands on the left, we had Yabo on the left, and I just wish in this system we could have one season to have Pedro Santos on the left wing back. It is the perfect position for him. Like, a awesome left winger going to an awesome left fullback that like blazes up the side. It just, man, he's like built for this. And, I don't know how much longer he has in the league, and it just would have been awesome to see him. Man.
And one more shout out to him was the fact that he wasn't playing Santos ball. He wasn't drawing the fouls and playing that way against us that we know he can do against the others.
Yeah, that's true.
He was staying on his feet.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think he was happy to come off in the 62nd minute, but they needed
Seemed
to
a bit
make some
early for
changes
him.
to.
Yeah.
They had to ship. They needed to make changes to try to get a goal. So
Yeah.
Did he come out? Did Petro come on for him? Because I think he actually will be starting. That's what James was saying last week, that it's either him or the Hopkins. Hopkins is a super duper young, I think he's American player.
Yeah, they had double substitution, so he was one of the players coming in.
Yeah. But
him and Hopkins came on at the same time.
Yeah.
man,
All right. So, yeah, good to see Pedro. Let's get into Toronto here, our rivals. Toronto FC is looks like a Canadian-based MLS club.
Our closest rivals for
Trillium Cup.
Trillium Cup, yeah.
Yes, the Trillium Cup. It will be the Trillium of the match day.
I didn't know Trillium was a flower, apparently.
Trillium's a flower.
Yeah, so
Well,
what's up
yeah,
with
it looks
that?
like
I mean,
the
is there
state
history
flower.
there? Was this like
What state?
DC? DC were our
Agree to disagree.
rivals. I've in my soul, I feel like Austin is a rival, even though
Forever.
they're different conference. Cincinnati
It's
is
yeah,
rivalish. What is Toronto our
Yeah.
rival, or what's
No.
what's the score?
no.
Be done with the Trillium Cup. I mean, Cincinnati is our rival currently. I mean, Heller's a real piece of cake. It will sell out all the time. It's
Mhm.
Cleveland Cincy game. That's just them the breaks. Like that is definitely our rival. If we ever play Austin, that is like, I mean, I'm gonna light myself on fire, Rage Against the Machine
Did you?
style. Like I'm going to freak out. I'm so angry at Austin. That is like that's like a fun rival, like Cincy. Like we're
Right.
all right, I don't love
It's
you,
like a
but I don't
sibling.
like you.
It's like a sibling rival.
Yeah.
Right.
I appreciate
Yeah.
what they've done and to get another Ohio team. They back when before they were an actual MLS team, they were packing at the Cincinnati Stadium with like 30 plus people. That's awesome.
Austin
Austin
is more of like a,
Austin
you know,
can
yeah,
burn.
marry your.
Give them to Mexico.
Yeah.
They're just close. Just ship them off.
Okay, so Toronto though is who we're playing. Toronto.
I'm so angry.
Focus.
No.
Okay, let's go north of the border instead of south of the border for a moment.
Yeah, I've
It
heard
runs
that
up
the
north of us.
queso in Toronto is not good.
Top notch.
KSA.
All right, so the rival status is maybe
Sure.
not as strong as it once was.
It's a
but-
stretch.
I think the league was more desperate for rivalries
Yeah.
For
So-
sure.
in 2006.
So what do you guys
Sure.
think?
Yeah.
I mean, Toronto, what they have a draw and a loss.
I think the average age on that team is like 42. I think the average age of us is less than the average age of Toronto. That was like the running joke of the season when I heard a bunch of stuff. So I reached out to a bunch of Twitter like Toronto people and didn't hear back, so we didn't get to interview any of those people. But they're in a different nation, so it's tough.
Did they say sorry? At least?
Sorry.
No, not
Sorry.
yet.
Maybe they were too old for the platform.
They probably are. I should have reached out on Facebook
Right.
or next
Eastern
door.
Eastern Canadian time.
Yeah. Next door. Hey, does anybody whose dog is this also? Do you have a podcast? Eh?
Hey,
Yeah, I mean, they still have Michael Bradley, who is 120 years old. His dad's
Isn't Bob the
coaching.
coach?
He's
Yeah, his
older-
dad's
wait,
the coach.
Bradley
No.
Ball.
Brad.
Yeah,
Bob Bradley is the coach of Toronto again.
Robert. Yes.
Ye-
Yep.
Wow.
yes.
He never was he?
He wasn't he?
He is.
No, he still is.
Oh no, maybe he wasn't. Maybe I'm thinking of U.S.
You're
double
probably also
Bradley.
thinking of the U.S.
But I know he did LAFC, right? And before that, he was in
Yeah.
Egypt. Is that right?
Yep.
On vacation.
Maybe I was just thinking of
And-
U.S. He was the U.S. coach with Michael Bradley.
Yep.
But
And he's not. And the thing is, Bob Bradley is not a bad coach. He's a good coach.
Oh yeah.
You know.
But yeah, so week one, Toronto lost to DC in a thriller 3-2 with DC scoring in like the 91st and 98th minute
you,
with
Oz.
8 minutes of stoppage time.
Yeah.
And then this last week they tied. Who were they
Atlanta.
playing this week? Atlanta.
Atlanta.
At
1-1.
1-1.
Atlanta, which is tough.
it's like our
I think
YouTube
they scored
channel,
first as well.
at Atlanta.
at
Atlanta.
Okay. That's
But-
this is the type of dad
the one thing
podcast
they have
you're
though
here
is
for.
the one thing they have though is they have a little bit of firepower. I mean, like they have age. I mean,
Yeah,
not on their
Bernardeschi.
side to put that there, but Bernardeschi and Insigne,
And Insigne is out.
which is
Mark Anthony K.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
They have Larea at right back, which is the right back for the Canadian national team. He's awesome. They have Matt Hedges, who is really, really, really good. If you remember what was it?
Akinola.
Yeah, Akinola up top.
Oh yeah.
They have
I
Jonathan
don't think he's
Osorio.
been starting, but
Jonathan Osorio, I think, was playing almost a number 10 for Canada during the World Cup. Like, they're good. They have Sean Johnson now. He went to that was the
took him from NYCFC.
He was horrible in the first
he
game.
was, but he was awesome in
He
this
was
last game. He had he was a 7.7 rating. He was one of the better rated people. So I mean, they have good names. I had Servania, who I believe is he also Canadian. So they have a lot of Canadian national
Yeah.
teams.
But this is a team that needs a turnaround. They ended their season last
Yeah.
year with 5 straight losses.
Yeah.
They were the worst team in the league at the end of the season last year.
Well, DC
They
got the
kind of
wooden
had
spoon.
an implosion, didn't
Yeah,
they?
yeah. DC got the wooden spoon, but so
Yeah.
we got the extremes here.
Yeah.
From playing the Union to playing Toronto and DC United.
Okay. All right. So let's jump into our predictions. I think we've kind of covered the game coming up this week. I'm not sure. I think we should review last week's predictions, go through the current standings, and then we can lay our cards down and put some predictions on this Toronto game for this weekend. So, Mort, do you want to go through last week's results and then where our table is now?
Yeah, of course. So the predictions were that Haas believed we were going to play a 1-1 game. Trey believed we're going to win 1-0. Pretty close. At least we had the 0 there. Ben believed we're going to win 3-1.
Aggregate.
He got the
Ooh.
goal. Yeah, he got the goal differential. Differential.
Does that
right?
count?
No.
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 No?
Doesn't
No.
do you any good.
No.
No.
Well, you get the 1 point for the right result.
Sure.
I again went for the tie 2-2. I was wrong, happily to be wrong. And Mars was pretty close here with a 2-1.
Yeah.
So what that means was that Trey, Ben, and Mars got 1 point each.
Okay.
So that means their score right now is, let me see here, Trey and Ben and Mars have 1 point.
We're at the top of the table. We're at the top of the table.
Stop the
And the top of the
vote.
table.
1 point.
Stop
And
the
then Haas and
vote.
myself.
I award you
has
no
0.
points.
So that was pretty
All
easy
right.
to calculate.
All right. Very good. So going into the Toronto game, let's go around the horn, lay it down. What's it going to be, Ben?
2-0. 2-0 Crew.
2-0 Crew away. BMO
Yeah.
Field.
Yep. Insigne's gone. Diomandre got a 5.6 last game. We've proved that we can shut down their really good players. So Bernadeschi should
Okay.
be
2-0. Mort.
I'm not going to go for a draw again. I believe we are going to win this one 2-1.
2-1. I want to caution you against the 2-1 because I did it last week. If at some point we're winning by
You find
2,
yourself cheering.
you may find the devil on your shoulder cheering
Oh.
for an opposing
Oh.
goal.
Did you switch shirts and like put on your Gishi shirt? Like
Turned it
by
inside out.
yourself? Yeah. Put on a rally cap like upside down or something.
Yeah, I mean, I was glad to see the win, but if one snuck by at the end there from DC, I would have been glad for my standings here. All right, Trey,
2-1.
2-1, another 2-1.
2-1.
That's a Crew win, 2-1.
Toronto?
That's a Crew win, 2-1.
Okay,
Okay.
Ditto.
all right, Haas.
Toronto 1, Crew 3.
Wow.
3.
Ooh,
I like
Okay.
that. I almost did that again.
Oh, this guy.
So Mars.
Yeah, let me just.
Cucho's going to get a goal.
Yeah, I think is there
He's
too.
due.
Yeah, he's
yeah.
definitely due.
Maybe you know what it could be. You know what it could be. It could be 7-0.
Dude, too soon.
That's not a soccer score. We're not
Too
talking
soon.
NFL.
And we're playing at Anfield? Question mark.
All right, Mars, you got 2-1 to Crew. You got 2-1, 2-0, and 1 3-1.
And 7-0.
Hey, Mort,
Shut
have
up,
you
Ben.
seen the Tottenham trophy case?
No, I have not.
Just-
Neither have been.
Just
Or
a
nobody.
glass window. That's all it is. Nothing.
My guess is 3-0.
Wow.
3-0.
3-0.
I almost went with that.
It could be, man. We could come out swinging.
Yeah. but I'm glad to see that no one has bet against the crew this week. Any?
do
Are we allowed to do that? Is
Or
that
at all
something
yet,
that like
right?
people
Yeah, you
have?
can do it. Yeah, you can do it.
Oh yeah.
You can do it.
If this game would have gone poorly, I would have been starting to lean, thinking that way. But I'm feeling excited for the crew.
So why do you hate the crew, Oz?
Mark was rooting for a goal against.
I didn't say rooting. I didn't say rooting. No, and
Sure
so I'll
enough.
tell you. I mean, I'll just describe it. There was very late in the game. They could not have won.
How late was it?
DC, like way into stoppage time, and DC
They had
a
had
couple
the
shots
Way
ball
deep.
at the 18-yard box, and I I was not in control. I found myself. I actually
Did your
yelled.
inner dad coming out?
I-
Your inner dad came out going, shoot!
Yeah. I yelled. I said, "Rip it!"
Mars, there's
They did.
nothing
Room just
funny
made
about
the
that.
save.
Do you remember last season?
Yeah, I know. No, this was so late. There's like no way. This was like if they scored, they could not have scored twice. It wouldn't have happened.
Well,
It wouldn't have happened.
Were you at the Montreal game
And
last
you
year?
know what?
Because
If they
I
would have,
was.
if they would have had the ability to score twice, then I wouldn't have been rooting for them because that would have blown my score prediction. So
How about not rooting for
Shame.
them at all?
I know. Well, that's that's
Shame.
obviously the
Shame. Shame. Boo this man.
All right. Are we done here? I think we're good.
I think that's it. I think we got everything.
we
Again,
having
if you
fun?
have
See, now-
questions,
See, I said 3-0. Hold on. I said 3-0. Go Crew. I won't be rooting for Toronto, right?
yeah. Okay. Who had them scoring a goal? Did I have them? What did I say? 2-0. Sweet.
Yeah.
You did, Haas.
That's why I was
Yeah.
cautioning those guys. Yeah, we can.
Well, Diamanda, the Norwegians, got to get a goal.
Okay.
5.6.
Ben, you wanted to say follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Upper 90 Club Pod, and now on YouTube at Upper 90 Club.
YouTube.com/@
Yeah.
At
upper90club.com,
Upper 90
which we
Club.
thought was my mistake when I was setting it up, but it turns out that's something that YouTube, I guess, had done. But I don't know.
Yeah, you
Just
sure
go
about
to
that? That's
YouTube.
why?
YouTube.
All
it.
right.
And search Upper 90 Club.
And you
Yeah.
can email us at podcast@upper90club.com. Go Crew.
Go
Crew.
That's what I tried.
Did you hear how that announcer was saying Santos' name on the
No.
Shantos? Because he was
So the
He's
announcer talks like somebody. Who does he talk like?
he is Portuguese, so he was like saying it
like a Portuguese person.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's
He was on a-
Portuguese?
He was sitting on a
Shantos.
porch.
Here,
Portuguesian.
yeah, like a bunch of geese on a porch. You know, Portuguese.
the dad joke.
It's only
so
one of him.
dumb.
It's only one of him. He's a Portuguese.
He's a
Bunch
bunch
of
of goose. What a silly Portuguese.
I thought you could bend it a little to say like guys, like some guys on a porch. Porch guys.
Some Portuguese.
Yes, please refer to him as the Portuguese defender.
Thanks everyone for joining the club. We hope you'll listen next week and every week, even in the off season, to celebrate or commiserate. We'll save you a seat. If you like this podcast, please give us 5 stars and subscribe. You can email us at upper90clubpod@gmail.com. That's upper90clubpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at upper90clubpod. Go Crew!
Wow!